What's going on, everybody? We got another battle for you, and it's with a new team, actually. It's one of the triple teams, one of the two triple teams I have made. And this one is kind of it utilizes Volbeat's Tail Glow, which you'll see during this battle, actually. You get to see pretty much the main strategy with it. And as for the team, or what I was thinking beforehand was I you'll see I send out my Ambipom on the left, my Volbeat in the center, and my Mantine on the right. And from this team, the reason I did this, I usually don't send out my Volbeat in the middle, as that's pretty risky. But I see that his Charizard and his Sylveon are probably the two that'll most likely go in the middle, and it possibly Zapdos, but I think the other two would way more likely. And I know that Charizard probably packs Heat Wave, and Sylveon's going to carry Hyper Voice. So I put Mantine out there for a wide guard, knowing that I could protect against that unless he just made a really hard read and saw the wide guard coming. And I send out my Ambipom alongside because it has Fake Out. And even though he has a Meowstic, which usually undoubtedly carries Quick Guard, I was okay with that because if he sent out the Meowstic, I know he'd go for Quick Guard, and honestly, I just need him to waste a turn and not attack my Volbeat twice because it's sashed. So even if he sends out the Talonflame on the opposite side of my Ambipom, or he sends it out with his Meowstic, then I'll still be able to get the free move off, which is what I needed basically. But yeah, there's a little bit of a flaw in my thinking, but again, it's all right. Actually, no, there's not a flaw. No, I'll explain that later. But yeah, let's get into the battle. Okay, so real quick, the reason I said there wasn't a flaw was because my Ambipom carries Quick Guard. So even if they did take my Volbeat down to the Sash, the next turn I could protect it with Quick Guard, so it would be free to use its moves. But as you see, the Talonflame doesn't even come out, and his Meowstic uses the Quick Guard just like I expected, and Sylveon is in the middle. So everything is pretty much going to plan. I mean, the Greninja was a Greninja. I wasn't sure what third Pokemon he'd send out, but it wasn't a big deal to me. And to be honest, everything that I pretty much predicted happened. He uses the Ice Beam on my Volbeat. He gets a crit, which might have, it doesn't really matter because I was sashed, but I don't know if it would have taken me all the way down to my sash with a normal hit. But I knew the Quick Guard was coming, so I used Return on my Ambipom and I get the Tail Glow off. So now I go for the Baton Pass on my Volbeat, and I wasn't sure. I didn't expect him to use a Hyper Voice, again, knowing I had Wide Guard. And plus, I know Mantine could live it, and I know Arcanine would live it because he resists it. Ambipom probably would have went down, but that would have been okay. His Meowstic's continuing just to set up with like the screen. I'm assuming it's dual screens, Quick Guard, and something else. And I don't even think it might not have an attacking move. If it does, it probably carries like Psyshock. But my Mantine goes for Tailwind, and my Arcanine is now at a +3 special attack, so it is ready to dominate as speed is doubled. It's faster than everything on his team, and ready. Oh, it carries Safeguard. All right, probably for pesky like Smeargles who carry Dark Void. But I used Return on the Meowstic, which was kind of a waste, kind of not. Because I used it on the Meowstic because I was pretty confident Heat Wave would just take out the Sylveon anyway, and I just didn't have a lot to do. And I had my Mantine targeting the the Greninja, and he actually switched into his Talonflame, and his Talonflame did not take that very well, which was totally fine on my book. because I can outspeed this Greninja. I don't know if his Greninja carries Mat Block or what, and if he was trying to stall out my Tailwind, but I don't think his Greninja carried Protect, which was a problem, and he couldn't really do that much. You'll see his Meowstic's over there just being useless, which is why I actually switched out my Ambipom and my Volbeat, because I really didn't expect his Zapdos or anything to go after my Ambipom, because I have a +3 Arcanine out that's starting to really do some damage. And Mantine's pretty much just getting extra chip damage too, which was cool. I was kind of surprised that he took out my Mantine instead of going after my Arcanine. I think he wanted to get rid of the Wide Guard for his Charizard, but I don't know. It was interesting because my Arcanine's, I think, is obviously the biggest threat right now. I make a little bit of a slip up in my opinion here. It doesn't cost me anything, not to spoil the battle, but I shouldn't have done it. It was kind of a dumb move because my Tailwind's gonna run out this turn. My Volbeat goes for Struggle Bug, which it is fine. I get the special attack drop on Zapdos in particular, which is what I wanted, and which means his it carries Heat Wave in the Sun, and that won't do as much damage, which is good, especially because it dodged my Heat Wave. But right here with my ORAS, I use Psych Up to copy the stat changes, which is the other aspect kind of this team. I can either Baton Pass my ORAS or I can use Psych Up. But instead of using Psych Up, I should have just went straight for the Hyper Voice. There was no point in getting the Psych Up. It was overkill. I didn't need it. I would have taken out the Charizard and my Arcanine will live the turn, making it even more of a problem. Making him have to target that Arcanine in the first place. But you'll see my my Tailwind Petter's out right there, which again, it's not a big deal, but let's say had my Ambipom been taken out by a Hyper Voice or something that second turn, could have been a little bit of an issue for sure. But it wasn't a big deal, and as you can see, I have Sawk on this team, and he is no longer a part of the team. I have a few battles with him in it, but the role, I basically replaced him because his role was to take out things like Heatran and just do out some possible damage to Ferrothorn. He was there for Steel types mostly, but I realized that I didn't have a big answer for. My goodness, I didn't have an answer for psychic types really, which like I guess in particular like things like Latias, and even Heatran was still a bit of a problem for my Sawk. It's hard to describe. There's a battle I have which I'll probably upload where I lose, and it really I think I lose, and it really showed me that I needed to replace my Sawk, and you'll see later that I replace it with Toxicroak, because Toxicroak just actually really benefits the team a lot more and has more chemistry, I guess you could say. But yeah, that was the battle, and thank you for watching.